Hey everyone, it's Sarah Martin again, and I'm so glad you're back. I love doing this video blog deal. I love writing too, but this is just so much fun to get to play around on my computer. So thanks for checking in again, and I'm continuing on with my reading through the Bible. I mentioned in the last video blog that I'm reading through the Bible in this one-year Bible, and I love it because it just lays everything out for me. And no, I didn't get paid to talk about this specific Bible, but I always love to recommend things that I love. So I'm in Exodus. Part of my Bible reading is in Exodus, and part of it's in Matthew, and then of course Proverbs and Psalms. And right now I'm in the part of Exodus, I believe it's chapter 16, where the Israelites have left Egypt and they are on their journey in the wilderness, and the Lord has blessed them with manna daily. And I'm sure we've all read the stories about manna. And what's interesting is the Lord gives them very specific rules and guidance as far as this blessing that he's given them, this food that he's given them. And what he tells them is that every day, every morning, there will be manna outside their tents, and they're to gather just enough for that day, no more. And then on the day before the Sabbath, so I guess, let's see, the Jewish Sabbath is Saturday. So Friday, they are to gather enough for Friday and Saturday. So because on the Sabbath, they are not to do any gathering, any work. So let me take a step back. When they gather every day on the normal days of the week, and they gather too much or they try to keep leftovers, they're supposed to use everything up for that day, no leftovers. But if they hold on to those leftovers, kind of like, you know, how we use the Tupperware and put it in our fridge these days, if they hold on to those leftovers, then overnight maggots and they infest the manna and it becomes stinky. God allows it to go rancid because he only wants them to trust him for their manna for that day and nothing else. So because God makes his own rules, when he tells them to gather on Friday and through the Sabbath, you know what? Since he makes his own rules, he's the one that tells them, okay, you can have leftovers on Friday and Saturday because I don't want you cooking and I don't want you gathering on Saturday when you're supposed to be resting. So it's the Lord that makes the rules. Well, of course, just like any one of us, the Israelites break the rules. And what they do is, it said, when in regards to their gathering and cooking their manna for Saturday, for their Sabbath, that said, nevertheless, this is in Exodus 16, Exodus 16, verses 27. Nevertheless, some of the people went out on the Sabbath day to gather it, but they found none. So, of course, the Lord doesn't want them gathering on the Sabbath, so he doesn't leave anything on Saturday. They were supposed to get it the day before. Then the Lord said to Moses, how long will you refuse to keep my commands and my instructions? Bear in mind that the Lord has given you the Sabbath, that it is why on the 6th day he gives you bread for 2 days. Everyone is to stay where he is on the 7th day. No one is to go out. So the people rested on the 7th day. So I started thinking, how many times are we blessed with provisions or just blessings in general by the Lord? And we think it's great. We might say, hey, thanks, God. I really appreciate it. And we're gathering our blessings, gathering the provisions. And then all of a sudden we decide, I don't need those rules. The Lord might have laid out specific ways we're supposed to handle these provisions. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he wasn't very specific, but sometimes when we take on our blessings from the Lord, we start to take the reign and start to handle it all on our own. And for an example, I had a huge blessing fall into my lap. A friend of mine that I just met actually on Twitter. It's a wild, wild story, only a God thing. But I got connected. I mentioned before that I'm working on a book, and I got connected with a potential agent. And this all just fell into my lap. And I started to think it's easy, and my personality, I'm very type A and I want to make things happen. It's easy for us to just jump the gun and go around what God's plans might be for these provisions, or what might be his guidelines for these blessings. And it could be so easy for me just to kind of take the reins and make things happen rather than being patient and doing what I'm supposed to do, submitting chapters like I'm supposed to, or making contacts in the right order, I could easily just take the rein and go on my own, because I usually tend to jump with feet first. So this chapter in Exodus really stands to remind us that when we don't follow God's guidelines for the blessings, or we just don't listen to his guidance once he's given us some blessings, things can go rancid. They can be stinky and just not what he had planned for us. And by rancid and stinky in our guidance, in the guidance and blessings that he gives us, I really am talking about how, say, if I take control of things, that blessing, I might ruin it. I might step over bounds, or I might do something kind of not politically correct in the publishing world, and I might screw things up. But if I take a step back and rest in the fact that the Lord provides for me every day, and that he is the one that's given me these blessings, then everything will work out beautifully. It's just our job to gather the manna, gather the daily provisions, and then let him guide us on how to use it. So thanks for checking in today. I love the video blog. I hope you do too. And I hope you have a great day, whether it's daytime, evening, or wherever you are. And I hope you're blessed. Have a good day. Bye.